Yo, it's your boy Lil Ghost, and today I'm gonna react to just Pearly things and some of her content. It's been a couple months since the last time I did it, and it's simply because of the fact I've been heavy on Thomas Sowell and more political, social type stuff. But I like her stuff, and I have no problem with her, so let's get into it.
Disparity with the amount of labor that women do and that men do.
Yeah, but,
Like,
men make more money statistically, so you could just say the men contribute more.
Yeah, and men provide value in other ways.
If a dude's paying my rent, he's not doing shit.
Like
He's
that.
not doing shit around the house.
But women also work, so like they're also doing a 9 to 5. Like maybe
But I'm saying statistically, men make more money. Go ahead.
Sorry,
I just wanted to ask all your statistics and your percentages, all of that. Where did you find it? Is it in the UK? Is it in the US?
UK and US. There's a little bit of a disparity between the UK and US, specifically when it comes to divorce. It's 64% in the UK and it's 80% in the US.
Who carried out the
90%
studies?
The government.
The government
studies.
took how many women? 100 women, and then asked them about their life. And
So
then
do you think if you do 3-4 different studies and they all come up to similar conclusions, we can say that it's around 80%, 90%
Lawyers.
if you're
Divorce lawyers, divorce court. We're getting the statistics from there, so we can see who's initiating the divorces.
like
And
someone
it's-
has to file.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's
when you
pretty
file for
easy,
divorce,
yeah.
it goes on record. So it's
Okay.
80% of women that are filing for divorce.
how would you improve the situation for like? I feel like you both have like heard, thought about this a lot. Like, what would you say that both men and women can do to improve the situation?
I think a financial abortion should be legal.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like, I think that if women have the right to get an abortion, men should be able to get a financial abortion so they can sign off all rights and not pay any child support.
I completely agree with that. The same way you can't force a woman to have your child or not get an abortion, a woman shouldn't force a man to stay around and take care of a child he didn't want in the first place. Some women know damn well that these guys don't want kids, but they'll still do it because in their mind, they think it'll make them stick around and be faithful, but that's not gonna happen. He gonna leave sooner or later, and oftentimes it's sooner. How many times have we seen women single, but are still pregnant? It's crazy. Sometimes women be pregnant longer than the amount of time they've been with the guy. That's why I'm always in favor of the guy signing his rights away. We don't have any power when it comes to a woman's body, but we should have the power when it comes to our money, what we spend it on.
Whoa.
I would say that's one thing, because the way it is now, like, women are incentivized to get kids off of rich guys. Like, the NBA had to issue a statement saying that women like kept stealing condoms, and I just think that should be illegal. Like, you shouldn't be able to legally do
Drake
that.
had to put hot sauce in his
Yeah,
condom
like, I'd say that's one.
to stop this woman from getting
Yeah.
his baby. There are women out there literally incentivized to try and get a rich man's baby.
Yeah.
That was just one story with Drake and one random lady, and it doesn't represent all women in the world.
So
Nobody-
I understand that, but I do these interviews all the time. So I'll go on the street, I'll talk to random people on the street, random people in my living room, and I've had so many guys tell me stories of girls doing this to them. Go ahead.
And your guys' opinions favor a certain side. So when you go out on these ventures and you ask people, you know what you're looking for. You know what you can put and edit and post.
Are you saying we're rigging the game now? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
not rigging the game, but
Yeah.
you're looking for something, and that's why you're going out there. So you're going to speak about certain
but I
things.
also think
I would say I get more people that disagree, to be honest, when I go out than agree. So I wouldn't say I'm like rigging the game.
Okay.
But if you're gonna have sex with a woman, sorry, what am I supposed to say?
You can say sex. Yeah, that's fine.
Did I say woman?
There is a chance that woman may get pregnant. Like,
So if you have
regardless-
sex with a guy, there's a chance you might get pregnant.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's on you.
So yeah,
not the guy.
so if you
so-
get to choose not to be a mother, he should get to choose not to be a father. Equal. Equality.
Whose responsibility do you think it is for getting pregnant?
It's
both of them.
It's definitely a
That's
How?
Yeah, but
that's
women
due
have
to
more to
tango.
risk by getting
Yeah,
pregnant.
I would-
therefore
How?
they need to exercise
Unless it's
more risk.
unless it's a situation of grape, you let the man inside. So how is it?
so it's your responsibility if you get pregnant, even though it's a
No, I said whose responsibility for it to get pregnant? All of the power is within the woman's hands. You have the right to say yes or no. Once you do say yes or no, you have the right to keep the baby. You have the right to either put the baby up for adoption. You have the right to put the man on child support.
We
It's all-
also
it's all in your
we
hands.
also have birth control. You can get an IUD. It's like
Yeah.
99.99% effective.
Or plan B. I mean, that's something that we should be using in the West. We have all these birth control and medical options available to us, but oftentimes we don't want to use it. I'm in the favor of doing things to not get an abortion to begin with, and not just, birth control and pulling out and other type of stuff like that. You shouldn't even need an abortion. But if you get it, but it shouldn't be like a birth control option. You shouldn't be getting like 5, 6, 7, 8 abortions. That just seems messed up to me.
So
I'm
IUDs
saying
aren't great though. Birth control isn't great to be.
But I'm saying that's a better option than what men have. Or you can require the men you sleep with wear a condom. So it's like, I'm saying we have all the power when it comes to sex and who gives birth and who picks who is born.
Yeah, nowadays I feel like a woman's really only going to have a kid if she like really wants to, because there's so many ways for her to prevent that at different stages all throughout.
But I also think if there were more support for women who do want to have children, may not have necessarily found the right man who actually wants to have a child with her, if she was able to get more financial support, then she wouldn't feel like she'd need to trap a man
she's
in
not
order to
entitled
get a
to
baby.
That's a horrible excuse.
She's not entitled to that.
You think are you excusing a girl trying to get a kid off of a rich guy because she doesn't
I'm not trying to excuse it, but
that's what you're doing.
If childcare is really expensive, okay?
Right.
Raising a child is really expensive and it's really hard to do on your own, right?
Yes.
Well, then that's why you shouldn't be just having sex and having babies with random people that don't want to stick around with you. And it's not up to every other citizen in your country or in your state to take care of you and your child through their taxes or anything else. You should do everything you can to take care of yourself.
But if you really want a child,
you should get married and do it.
But what if no one wants to marry you?
Did you know that before you got pregnant?
Then you need to change your strategy.
Well, I'm saying maybe lower your standards then. If none of the guys you like want to marry you, you're probably shooting too high.
Or change how you deal with men.
Just like if a dude's shooting at Victoria's Secret models and they all tell him no, like he'll probably be like, "Oh, let me adjust."
What if you're like, just don't see any men that you like?
Sperm donor.
Yeah.
So
What if you're asexual?
Very
You don't
true.
have any romantic
Yeah.
or sexual interest ever. You just
want a
want
baby.
to live life, have a kid.
Well, isn't that selfish?
That's
To bring
Yeah.
a kid
It's a
into a
sexual
situation
orientation.
where
It's all
Okay,
selfish.
fuck
No,
off.
orientation.
I don't care damn much about your fucking sexual orientation. You bringing another person into this world and you can't take care of them because you want to be asexual, whatever you want to call yourself. That's stupid. I don't care about your sexual orientation. I care more about the child and the life he's gonna live.
it's not
you
selfish.
don't think children need two parents?
No.
Well, I think they need a community. I don't think they need two parents.
This is one of the reasons why society's broken. Because women are actually literally running around thinking that children don't need two parents.
If you're a good enough person, you can teach a child by yourself. I know that.
I just read
No,
you a
you
bunch
can't.
of stats showing that.
Okay, let me tell you. You can, but it is much more difficult to do it by yourself compared to two people. I really don't understand that could be argued. You have two financial incomes, and if you have one, you still have the other person pulling their weight by taking care of the children in the house and such and so forth. If you're just one person, you have to do all that stuff by yourself, and that includes paying for it and taking the child to and from places like school, after school activities, sports, anything like that. It's a lot of burden on you.
Children that come from single mothers are statistically at a disadvantage in nearly every category.
That's not necessarily
and then you're going to tell me, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Let's raid a child's body."
If you're
Like I think it's equally selfish if a dude does the same thing. Like if a dude wanted to, I don't know, adopt as a single father, like I think that's selfish.
And even if you can, that doesn't necessarily mean you should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like because you're
exactly.
putting what you want above what is best for the kid.
I think if you're adopting a child, whether you're a single person or not, I think that's a really lovely thing to do, because being in the care system is not fun. And if you're a single parent, it's better than having no parent, no one to look after you. You've got care workers in and out all day. And also, like, I lost my train of thought.
But an ideal situation would be
in an
like,
ideal situation is two parents. Would you
Right.
not agree with that?
I would agree that you need a support system. It doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be two parents. You could have four parents.
You could have
you could have
What?
cousins and aunties who are older.
Do you think
who,
that's
like,
the
look
same as
after
having a
you.
mom and a dad in the home?
I've never had both, so I have no idea. I could not compare.
I think if
Right,
the
but-
kid has adults who love them and show that they love them openly and always, then it doesn't matter if it's specifically a man and a woman or two parents that raise them.
So
If it's a community,
so
if
in
it's
all the
someone that shows love.
So in all the statistics that I read, they never had a father in the home.
There are so many
Okay?
different.
So hang on. They never had a father in the home. Okay, it was single. They never had a father. This shows that boys and girls need both their mother and their father to be fully functioning members of society, who aren't going to be rapists, who aren't going to be prisoners, who aren't going to be, misfits. But I actually, this is one of the things that I can't understand why women would argue for singledom and to raise a child by themselves and then act like it's normal. Like it's gonna benefit society. It's not gonna benefit society when it comes to prison. It's not gonna benefit society when it comes to crime. So why do it?
I think what you've just said is that you can't be a normal functioning member of society if you were raised by a single mom.
It's about probability.
That's not. We're saying
that's
that.
what
We're
I
saying
heard.
that's
And
that,
also-
okay, but just because you heard it, that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
Okay.
So
real.
what we're saying is it puts you at every statistical
Yeah.
disadvantage. So
Disadvantage.
why would you push that in a society?
Yeah.
I don't think, personally, I'm not speaking to everyone else, I'm not pushing it, but if that's your best bet, like, then
Yep.
that's all you can do is your best, and if you're doing your best, then like what else can you
Get
expect
married.
someone to
I
do?
feel
Like there's
That
would
always
be your
okay,
best
there's
because of your past decisions.
there's always a guy that's gonna marry you. Like I'm sorry, 1 out of 3 men are either virgins or haven't had sex in the last year. So the issue is just like the guys that girls don't want them. And so I think the solution is getting a guy on your level.
I feel like the thing with the parents, the kids, the mothers, I feel like kids are just kids. They just arrived here. They don't know anything. The only way a kid is going to be
you have a child?
disadvantaged from a single parent or whatever is when they grow up and then they hear people talking about it.
Do you have a child?
That's sweet. Okay, I'm so glad this is the last 3 seconds because I'll just end it right there. That is so ridiculous. Let's just paint an easy picture. If a single mother is raising a baby by herself because the father doesn't want to be around anymore and they have their issues and she doesn't have transportation, how is she going to be able to get to doctor's appointments, take him to daycare, get him home, such and so forth, without riding the bus? So that means she has to wait on that bus stop for the bus to come every single day. And if you live in a state or area around this country, United States, where it gets very, very hot, you're going to be out there in that hot sun, 90-degree weather with a newborn baby or a 3-month-old baby. That is putting that child at a disadvantage. You are putting them through heat and stress that they don't need to get because they're just so fresh and they're still so young. That's something they don't have to go through if they had more finances available to the mother by having the father around and, probably being married together. That's just one example. Even if only one person has a car, you could work together to make things happen for the benefit of both people. So neither person has to suffer. Or if somebody suffers, they're nowhere near suffering as much as they would by themselves. And that's the point. You're suffering more by being a single mother compared to just having a family together with a husband. And I don't understand why they argue against that. And I just gave a very basic example when it just comes to transportation. We're not even mentioning all the other stuff like housing, daycare, who's going to watch your child while you're at work. If you don't have a husband around or the baby's father isn't around in the picture because you're not married yet, but you're still in a relationship, you don't have access to his family. That grandmother on the father's side can babysit sometimes. Like, this is all options that's available to you when you have more people in your circle. But when you isolate yourself and you're just yourself trying to do this great thing, which is raise a new person in this world while also trying to provide for them, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And the more children you do that with, you're just multiplying that stuff happening. And I really don't understand how anybody could argue against this, unless they just think about themselves and what they want. Talking about the whole asexual thing earlier, and that's a sexual orientation and they should just have a child and do that by themselves. That is very selfish because you care more about trying to act out whatever your orientation is compared to being a good mother and doing everything you can that is best for the child. If you know you don't want to have a family, in my opinion, don't have children. But that's just me. It's the best for the child, and honestly it's best for you and the mother, or if you're a woman listening to this, it's best for you and the father, because you can help each other in a multitude different of ways. But that's just me. It's your boy Logos, and I'll talk to you next time.